Hello, my friend. Have you ever felt your heart beating fast, your mind becoming noisy, and your emotions taking control before you could think clearly? There are moments in life when pressure appears suddenly. A difficult conversation, an unexpected problem, a mistake, or a decision that cannot wait. In those moments, many reactions happen automatically. But what if calmness could become a skill? What if emotional control could be learned like any other ability? This story explores understanding emotions, staying calm under pressure, and learning how smart thinking begins the moment emotional noise becomes quiet. Because the greatest power is not controlling situations, it is controlling yourself. Pressure never sends a warning before arriving. It appears in ordinary moments, during work, conversations, decisions, and unexpected problems. The body reacts quickly, breathing changes, thoughts rush, emotions rise. Many reactions happen automatically without awareness. In these moments, calmness feels distant, but pressure does not create chaos. It reveals what already exists inside the mind. Emotions are not enemies. They are signals. Fear signals uncertainty. Anger signals boundaries. Stress signals importance. The problem is not emotion itself. The problem begins when emotion becomes the decision maker. When emotion leads, thinking becomes smaller. Words become faster. Actions become impulsive. Later, regret often follows. Emotional awareness is the first step toward emotional mastery. There's a small space between emotion and reaction. Most people never notice it. Everything feels immediate. Something happens. Reaction follows. But that small space is powerful. Inside that space lives choice. The ability to pause, breathe, and observe creates distance between feeling and action. That distance is where calm thinking begins. Calmness is not silence outside. Calmness is stability inside. Noise may exist, pressure may exist, urgency may exist. Yet calmness means the mind is not rushing with them. A calm mind sees more options. A calm mind listens better. A calm mind protects decisions from emotional mistakes. Calmness is not weakness, it is clarity. Under pressure, the brain prefers speed over accuracy. Quick reactions once helped survival, but modern problems require thinking, not survival reflex. When pressure rises, the brain looks for shortcuts. Assumptions replace observation. Emotion replaces logic. Slowing down feels uncomfortable, but slowing down is exactly what creates smarter thinking. Breathing is often ignored because it is simple, yet breathing directly affects emotional intensity. Fast breathing tells the brain something is wrong. Slow breathing tells the brain safety exists. Changing breathing changes emotional volume. A slow breath does not remove problems, but it reduces emotional noise so thinking can return. Awareness changes everything. Noticing emotion while it happens creates power. Instead of "I am angry," awareness says, "Anger is present." This small language shift creates distance. Emotion becomes something observed, not something that controls. Observation weakens emotional intensity. Awareness transforms reaction into choice. Pressure creates urgency, and urgency creates mistakes. Many decisions feel important simply because they feel urgent. But importance and urgency are not the same. Calm thinking separates them. When urgency is questioned, unnecessary pressure disappears. Smart thinking begins when emotional urgency is examined instead of obeyed. Thoughts often follow emotions. A stressful feeling creates stressful thinking. The mind searches for confirmation. Problems appear bigger. Solutions appear smaller. This mental pattern is natural, but not permanent. When emotional intensity lowers, thinking becomes more balanced. Calmness does not change reality. It changes perception of reality. Silence is a powerful tool under pressure. Words spoken during emotional intensity often do not represent true thinking. Silence creates time. Time creates clarity. Clarity prevents regret. Choosing silence is not avoidance. It is intelligent delay. Many problems reduce when immediate reaction is replaced with thoughtful response. The body remembers emotional habits. If stress usually leads to rushing, the body repeats rushing. If frustration usually leads to reacting, the body repeats reacting. Emotional mastery means creating new patterns. At first, slowing down feels unnatural, but repetition builds familiarity. Familiarity builds automatic calmness. Expectations increase emotional pressure. When outcomes must happen in a specific way, tension rises. Control becomes tight. But life rarely follows exact expectations. Flexible thinking reduces emotional resistance. Flexibility does not mean giving up standards. It means adapting without emotional chaos when reality changes. Mistakes are emotional triggers. The mind quickly moves towards self-criticism. Emotional discomfort increases. Thinking becomes defensive. Yet mistakes are information, not identity. Calm thinking asks, what can be learned? Emotional thinking asks, what is wrong? Learning creates progress. Emotional judgment creates stagnation. Many people believe calmness means feeling less. In reality, calmness means feeling without losing direction. Emotions still exist, pressure still exists, but calmness keeps thinking present. Emotional mastery is not emotional absence. It is emotional balance. Feeling deeply and thinking clearly can exist together. Attention determines emotional intensity. What receives focus grows stronger. Replaying problems increases stress. Replaying solutions increases clarity. The mind follows focus. Under pressure, shifting attention toward what can be done reduces helplessness. Small actions restore control faster than endless worrying. The environment influences emotional reactions. Noise, distractions, and constant information increase mental pressure. A crowded mind struggles to stay calm. Creating small moments of mental space changes emotional capacity. Even brief pauses reduce overload. Calm thinking requires moments where the mind is not constantly reacting. Confidence is strongly connected to emotional control. Confidence does not remove pressure. It changes response to pressure. When calmness becomes familiar, pressure feels manageable instead of overwhelming. Confidence grows not from perfect outcomes, but from trusting the ability to stay stable during difficulty. Overthinking is emotional thinking disguised as logical thinking. The mind repeats possibilities without movement. This creates the illusion of control but increases anxiety. Calm thinking focuses on the next step, not every step. Action interrupts overthinking. Progress reduces emotional noise more than endless analysis. Patience protects decisions. Pressure demands immediate answers, but clarity often needs time. Emotional urgency creates short-term relief, but long-term problems. Patience allows full information to appear. Waiting is not weakness. Waiting is strategic calmness. Smart thinking respects timing. Emotional triggers are predictable when observed. Certain situations repeatedly create strong reactions. Recognizing patterns reduces surprise. When triggers are expected, preparation becomes possible. Prepared thinking remains calmer than surprised thinking. Awareness transforms emotional reactions into emotional strategy. Language shapes emotional experience. Words like disaster, always, and never increase intensity. Softer language reduces emotional weight. Describing situations accurately instead of dramatically keeps thinking balanced. The story the mind tells influences emotional response more than the situation itself. Resilience grows from repeated calm responses under pressure. One calm moment builds evidence. Evidence builds trust. Trust builds stability. Emotional mastery is gradual. There is no single moment of transformation. Small moments of control accumulate until calmness becomes identity instead of effort. Energy affects emotional control. Exhaustion lowers patience. Hunger lowers tolerance. Overload reduces clarity. Emotional mastery includes physical care. A stable body supports a stable mind. Pressure feels heavier when energy is low. Simple care increases emotional capacity more than expected. Uncertainty is one of the strongest emotional triggers. The mind prefers clear answers, but life often offers probabilities instead. Calm thinking accepts uncertainty without panic. Decisions are made with available information, not perfect information. Emotional mastery includes comfort with incomplete clarity. Trust in process reduces emotional pressure on outcomes. When every result feels final, stress increases. When outcomes are seen as steps, pressure decreases. Calm thinking focuses on direction rather than immediate perfection. Progress replaces fear of mistakes. Reflection strengthens emotional awareness. After pressure passes, reviewing reactions creates learning. What triggered emotion? What helped calmness? Reflection turns experience into skill. Without reflection, experiences repeat. With reflection, experiences improve future responses. Smart thinking begins where emotional noise ends. When the mind is clear, decisions improve. When decisions improve, confidence grows. When confidence grows, pressure loses its power. Emotional mastery creates freedom. The freedom to choose responses instead of repeating reactions. And slowly, something powerful happens. Pressure no longer feels like an enemy. It becomes a signal, a moment to pause, a moment to breathe, a moment to think smarter. Because mastering emotions is not about controlling life. It is about leading life with clarity, stability, and quiet strength.